Hey guys, how's it going? In this video I'm going to take you through a step-by-step process of installing a new old stock original AM radio in my 1965 Ford Fairlane. A continuation of the how-to series videos I've had on it so far. The first one being restoration of the trunk. And the second being restoration of the engine bay. Just check my channel for those videos. Give you a quick glance at the finished product. So, let's go ahead and check out the box of which everything came in. And here's the original box that the radio came in. All new faceplate bezel. First time everything was opened up was for the eBay auction I bought it from. AM radio. Full antenna. Instructions, all the wires, bolts, never been opened. Bubble wrap. Single speaker. It's got a small pinhole in it. I'm going to try to repair that. So you see, this is all an original Ford part. This is what the dash bezel looks like now. It's the basic one that came in Fairlanes without a radio. But this one definitely has its signs of age. I'll be doing something with the speedometer bezel sometime when I could find a replacement. As compared with the new one. Quite an improvement, since this one doesn't even have the shine anymore. Now I'm just going to start removing the various Phillips head screws there and over the speaker grill. There's also two bolts behind the faceplate here and over there that you have to take off before you can get the main unit off. Alright, I had to do a bunch of steps without filming it just because it turned out to be a lot more of a pain in the butt than I had originally imagined. I had to take part of the speedometer off to get that overhang out so I could pull this out. I took the window trim, as you can see, and the speaker grill off so I could see a little bit more and get down in there. I took the ashtray off, disconnected the power to the AC unit. I had to break a couple of the bolts off just because the plastic is almost 50 years old and it just wouldn't hold. But yeah, there were a lot of bolts in there. It took a lot of hard work sitting under here for about an hour. So we're just gonna go ahead and get to pulling. See if we can't see how to get the rest of this off. So as you see, I've taken this connector off that plug there. Now the last thing I gotta do is unscrew this. Alright, I had to take one more bolt out of this side that connected part of the power for this switch to the AC unit. And after some investigating of how to get these off, that's the last piece I need to get off, gotta take a tiny little Allen wrench and just kind of twist these things off. Basically, these things are just held on by little clamps. So once you loosen them, you just pull them right off. Now, finally, we're able to take this off. Make sure to get the screws clear. We are good to go. You can see the remnants of the plastic chrome and in some of the areas that were covered. Out with the old, in with the new. Basically how this radio works. So you have this adapter here that goes to the speaker, and these two wires go into powers and other sockets here. back in here in this mess of wires, there's actually an adapter up there and down there where they go in, and I had to scrape some crud off these wires, but down there is the red and blue one, so hopefully they still work. This green and black wire goes here, red and black goes there. Green and black goes there, the black and yellow goes there. Alright, flash forward probably about an hour or two. Had to take the entire speedometer assembly out to get to the preset areas to put the wires in. Now, everything's kind of jerry-rigged up here for a second. And it does have power. If you listen real closely, you can hear the static in the radio. But I can't get anything on here yet. I don't know if it works yet. We got to check it out. Alright, so basically, the radio doesn't work. I've already jerry-rigged it up to the wires and everything to try to get it to work, and although I'm getting some feedback from the speaker itself, something internal with the radio doesn't work. The little light does, but it's a 50-year-old radio. It'll still look pretty regardless. But basically what I'm going to do is replace all the bulbs in the speedometer cluster. A lot of them are dry rotted. I figured I'd just do it now while I had the speedometer cluster out. This is what I'll be using. Now the radio has this little bracket here. It just slides onto the back, and that screws in up there to support the back of the radio inside the unit. Done. Now I've got it all bolted up and set in. What I'm starting to do is put the washer and bolt on. It came with the system. Since I'm not hooking up the power, I'm not putting on like the condensers and stuff like that, or the static electricity gizmos, all that kind of stuff, just because, well, there's no point. It's just going to be for show. Tight as a drum. I apologize for the darkness, but we got a pretty bad storm outside. We lost all power, so this is gonna have to do. But basically now, I got everything cleaned up. I'm ready to go ahead and put this faceplate on. Now we'll go ahead and tentatively screw everything in place. I bought all new screws to replace all the interior screws that were either worn out looking or just dirty. Now it's time to start assembling some of the final pieces of the radio. I already put one of the knob bezels in. This is the other one, solid chrome. There's two small grooves on either side where this fits in. And when you get them in, you just push. Now to put the last pieces in, the knobs. They basically just slide into these little holes and just push. So now everything's up and working. I just show you the light in the dash. Got all the heater cables hooked back up. I still got to put the switches on. Putting the speaker in, just laying it in there and screwing it down. That came up. I'm going to have to fix that. That whole hose is dry rotted. Now let's go ahead and put the speaker cover back on, as well as the windshield moldings. Taking it on its first test drive after the fact. Everything's been put together correctly. The speedometer works, the odometer works, all the gauges work correctly. Looks beautiful. What a fantastic automobile. I still got to put the remaining screws in. I just had it in there temporarily. Now that everything's put back in, all screwed down nice and tight, fires right up every time. Everything's working fine. All nice and clean. Now I've just got to find a replacement speedometer or get it re-chromed and repaired. As you can see, it's quite a big difference because the finish is completely gone off this one. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to stay tuned next time. We'll have more how-to videos, as well as the test drive coming up within the next couple of weeks. Take care, everybody.